What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bench. Of course, I'm DeMarcus.
And I'm Ty.
Man, Ty, what's going on, man? We been off for a couple weeks, man.
We are still on air for everybody that asks. I get that. Y'all still doing the pod? What the pod at? Yeah, we still here.
I'll tell it. Let's just address that right now.
Okay.
So for everybody that watches our podcast, I appreciate y'all. I know, y'all want us to see. You want to see us every single day because, I know Ty has some stuff that he be saying that be off the wall a lot of times. So I got to keep him in line. So I know y'all want to see more of that. But in all reality, man, we're blessed for the love that we get for the podcast. And we thank each and every one of y'all for watching. Continue watching. Make sure before you do anything else with this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to it, man. Follow us as we continue on our journey. But, we're getting our schedules, more in line. My boy Ty, he's finishing up school.
I'm finished today.
Oh, you finished today?
Yesterday I officially graduated.
Man, let's give a round of applause for my boy Ty, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
so
got the paperwork. I'm
okay,
done.
Okay, so that's also two people. Why schedules? With everything we do outside of the podcast, we're just getting everything in line. But I promise you, we're working on getting more stuff to y'all, man. So continue watching, continue support. But other than that, man, so how's your week been, Ty?
It's good, busy.
Been good, busy?
Yeah,
okay.
Trying to catch up with sports. And, I like to say this before the pod really starts. Baseball season is here for all my baseball lovers.
Yes.
Who you think going to win the World Series this year? DeMarcus don't like the 160-some games they play.
I don't like it, man. But you know what? But I will say this.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, I watched opening day.
That's good.
And all 32 teams play. I caught about 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I am liking what I'm seeing with the rule changes.
Yeah.
I like the pitch timer.
Mm-hmm.
I like the batting timer too, having to get in the box at a certain time, and then you got to make eye contact with the pitcher, and the pitcher got to have the ball, thrown in 20 seconds. I love it because it speeds the game up, makes it more exciting, and then also I feel like it makes people's mind work a little bit faster when because sitting up there at the mound taking your dear sweet time. You don't have that no more. And then the defensive shifts.
I like the defensive shifts. That's like zone them in.
That's the same thing. I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah, I feel you. I think it does kind of take away some of the guys' speed that's out there in the outfield because they can't shift to a better position based off the hitter that's coming up to bat. But I guess that in their mind they're just trying to make sure that teams, I guess, keep everything in the same playing field. Yeah. You don't have advantage. But I feel like to me that's a part of sports.
Yeah, it's figuring out if it's like knowing Julius Randle can't go right. Yeah,
exactly.
If you know that and game plan for that, make him go make him go right, and then take away his left. So you want to take away same thing in baseball.
Their batting angles and all that. But with the defensive shift, the new rule on it, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So I will agree with you on that. I think that and that might change as the season go on. They might revisit that rule. But right now, like I said, pitch timer, I like that.
I like that one.
The games went from 3 hours and 15 minutes to now 2 hours and 35 minutes was the average. Yeah. I think they had a couple go 2 hours and 40 minutes, but the average 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah. So I think, of course, the more, big fan of baseball, they probably don't like that because they like to be there 3-4 hours. But the new age fan, and I think this is showing everybody that baseball's understanding that the game is changing. The people that like the game is changing, and everybody most professional games last about 2.5 hours.
2.5, 3 hours.
Basketball, football, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, it don't matter. They all last about 2.5 hours. Yeah. So now, of course, you got overtime in some games, but I did like that, and that's why I'm excited this year for baseball, especially with all the movements that's happened. So I think this year gonna be good. So congratulations on a good opening week or opening day or opening couple days for baseball. We'll have to see what the rest of the year comes. So let me ask you this real quick prediction: who you think wins the World Series based off what you saw in the first couple days?
Man, that's hard. You still can go with Houston. You still can go with LA, you can go with the wild cards. Like
I don't know about the Dodgers, man, because they didn't do much this offseason. So I don't know about Dodgers.
I said LA.
Oh,
hey, I said you got a whole Dodgers hat on right now. What you mean?
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that don't mean anything.
For fashion.
Yeah, it looks good with the shirt. That's why I put it on. I mean, it's the blue and the blue match.
You one of those.
I mean, it don't match.
It's real baseball fans that would be pissed off right now at you. But no, I think you go with either LA team, especially with Shohei they showed in the Baseball World Classic. Shout out to Japan for winning that.
For winning that. Yeah. And I thought that was cool to see him go up against his teammate for the last out. I thought that was real cool.
Yeah, Mike Trout can stay healthy. You got wild cards like Tampa Bay that can surprisingly get in there. You got, teams. I think the NL is more locked in on one specific team.
Yeah.
The Mets, Philly, those two are pretty much up there.
Yeah.
But Yankees are in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this could be wide open.
You think Shohei leaves after this year?
Nah, he's
going to get that $300 million.
It's going to be more than that.
You think so?
I think it might be like Pat Mahomes type money.
Yeah, they was saying, I heard on ESPN, somebody was saying like $500 million. It's like with everything.
He could get two contracts since he's a starting pitcher and a hitting, basically. So he can look at 10 years, 300 plus a 6-year, 200. So it don't.
Yeah. So I was about to say, I think he's finna bust through the ceiling with this contract.
Yes.
Which is rightfully earned, because I mean, I've never seen a player pitch and hit like him consistently.
Yeah, since Babe Ruth.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm talking about throw a fast, but not almost 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and then hitting 30, 40 home runs a year. So I think he's gonna definitely bust through the ceiling more than you've ever could imagine. So. Yeah. All right, man. So let's get into these topics, man. Today, got quite a bit, but I think these gonna be some good ones. For everybody. Let's start the March Madness tournaments. Of course, we got it wrong.
Well, we was wrong.
We was way like we. But look, disclaimer.
We did
tell y'all, do not pick what we picked.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got it wrong on both sides, because South Carolina losing to Iowa, bro. I didn't. But Caitlin Clark, she is the best female player in college basketball.
I would just say college basketball in general.
In general, that's what I'm talking. She's the best in college basketball, not on one of the best teams. She's individually one of the best players in college basketball. And the reason why I was talking to my dad about this is she shoots the ball like NBA range, like what men do. Steph Curry and them. And a lot of people like to say Steph Curry, Trae Young. And she does have some resemblance to their game because of her movement without the ball. Yeah. Of course, how she gets her other teammates involved. But I mean, she's one of one, man.
Yeah,
she is one of one, and she's only a sophomore. She got 2 more years. Because she got one more. But I'm saying with COVID, she'll get basically 2 more years if she decided. But I doubt she stayed. I think she might come back 1 more year. And then she's done.
But she was doing this last year too, so I mean, her name has already been
cemented.
Yeah,
So
I think I say she's the best college basketball just because what the boys did. Yeah, she's the best college basketball player.
Yeah. Period. Men and women this year.
And yes, her and Iowa and that backcourt they have is pretty good.
Yeah.
She's very, very cocky, very arrogant. I would like to see her.
Yeah.
Her persona versus Reese persona, they're clashing and they're pretty much their will and their fight for the game. I'm gonna love the game tonight.
Yeah, I think Iowa's gonna win because I think Caitlin.
Ooh, you got Iowa.
I got Iowa winning.
I'm keeping it in the SEC.
Keep the SEC. You going LSU?
I'm going LSU.
Okay, well
I like the LSU.
Okay.
If I said LSU was gonna be in the finals off that bracket anyway.
Yeah.
So
I know we did have them. I think we both had them in the Final Four for sure.
With South Carolina losing, I feel like LSU can be.
Man, listen. The only reason I'm picking Caitlin is because, like I said, for the back-to-back games, 41 points, and like I thought South Carolina was going to be able to guard her, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know what LSU really can do to stop her enough to win the game.
It's just one of them things where you just got to let her cook, but then hold everybody else, because you let her have 40.
Exactly.
But you got to hold the other team too.
And I think that's what South Carolina tried to do, but they gave too much respect.
Yeah.
And open shots to the other players. I mean. And this Iowa's offense too. They had a lot of layups off of they backdoor cuts.
Well, Atlanta Boston was in foul trouble. She had 3 fouls.
I forgot. She had real quick. Yeah, so they had to take her out. So now the middle was wide open, and I don't think South Carolina, their backup big, like I said, can move as well as Boston.
Yeah.
So that's why it was a lot of driving lanes and open opportunities to get in the paint for Caitlin. But man, like I said, I just think overall this year, because a lot of people was Brandon Miller. Was one of the best players for the men, but like you say, just in general, college basketball, Caitlin Clark, best player. Women, men, don't matter. She's been the best player consistently all year long, from big shots to, what she's doing as a player. So that's why I got her. I just think she's on a mission, and what she's been doing these last couple of games, I just don't see LSU being able to stop it. So I got LSU. All right, so let's move over to the men.
Yeah.
Man.
I thought, you called FAU.
Man.
I thought
I talked to my cousin this morning, man. Man, I feel for them boys, man. Because, look, I really wanted my cousin to win because that's huge coming from Pensacola to be able to go to.
He's from Pensacola?
He's from Pensacola.
I saw that on the
going to that school and have a chance to win a natty. I feel for him. Yeah. But like I told him this morning, I truly believe this is going to be that motivation for the offseason for him to really come back even better next year. And like I said, as long as they have a similar group, I feel like they got a chance to come back next year and have a chance to, fight for a championship.
I mean, they only had 3 losses this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So them having 3 losses and being the seed that they was at.
Number 9. Yeah, it was ninth seed. Yeah.
You just looking at that like they're a 9 seed with 3 losses. That's a little weird. But
that's what I'm saying.
It's the same thing with, on the women's side. LSU was a 3 seed with 2 losses.
With 2 losses.
And you lost to South Carolina at South
Carolina.
You put them as a 3 seed.
Like, and I think both their losses were South Carolina and Tennessee. Yeah, that was their 2.
Tennessee was in the tournament.
Yeah, that was their 2 losses.
You put them at a 3 seed. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same thing with FAU. We lost 3 games. I don't know who they
lost. They won their conference.
Yep.
And then, like I said, they lost basically 3 games in their in the regular season and then 1 game in the tournament. So I agree with you. I think they got shunned on their ranking. And even San Diego State, same thing. I feel like they got shunned. They were 5th seed, but I feel like they got shunned because I've never really seen San Diego State play, but defensively, man, they play some good defense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, that was a heartbreak loss for my cousin. I hate it for him, but that's the beauty of this tournament.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to kind of get into that too. Is like, can you say with this tournament has been one of the best tournaments you've seen?
No.
Really?
I really didn't even watch this tournament. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay.
It just felt different not having the blue blood in there.
Okay.
And, we're going to talk about it a little later, but, if you see a Duke, a Kansas, or a Kentucky in there, you kind of just like, let me see what they're going to do. Or, let me see if they're going to get knocked out. And once they all got knocked out, I was like, all right.
Okay, yeah. And I felt that a little bit too. It was like, okay, once those teams started falling out, just their name that rings volume just kind of calmed down the excitement of the Final Four.
Pretty much, yeah.
Of the, of this championship game that the men's about to play in. Because, like, okay, you got San Diego State, never been there before. And then now on the other side, you got UConn, who's been there before.
Yeah.
But haven't been there in a while. But their name does ring volume, but I just feel like you said, it's just not to the level of a Kansas, a Kentucky, a Michigan State, a Michigan, a Duke, North Carolina. Like, North Carolina wasn't even in the tournament. Yep. So, like, for them not to be in it, it was weird already. Yeah. But I think this is the one thing I did like about this tournament was the uncertainty of who was going to win.
Yeah.
And now you having teams in it that you just never would have thought would have had a chance to play for a championship.
And also, I think, like, this year, just college basketball was a little different. And maybe it's going to be due to what we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
And that's, we really didn't know who is the essential number 1 player in college basketball this year.
Yep.
Last year.
Or the best team either.
Yeah.
Because that number 1 spot kept flip-flopping all year long. So I think, like you said, it just the uncertainty of who was who was doing what. Yeah. No players really stood. Like I said, besides Caitlin Clark, no player really took a step forward where you're like, man, that's the best player in men's college basketball. Yeah. Like Brandon Miller was good, but like I say, great player. Unfortunately was going on off the court with him. And I hope all that gets resolved so it doesn't linger into another year and then possibly his professional career, because I think he's going to the draft.
Of course.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't linger into to that. But I just think, like I said, he never took a step forward to, like I say, he's just pure, clear cut the best player in college basketball.
Yeah, I think that just really hurt college basketball this year. Like I said, you had teams like Kansas, you had Grady Dick, you had Wilson.
Yeah, and I saw Grady Dick. He announced he's going into the NBA draft too as well. So, and that's another thing. I think a lot of guys are just realizing, hey man, I got to strike while the fire is hot.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go forward. And I think also too, we're gonna dive right into it right now. NIL deals. It's making things, I wouldn't say easier, but it's making things make more sense on, like, hey, I did my job. Let me get on out of college basketball.
That too, and also it's just like, all right, why do I need to go, thousands of miles over to Kansas in the middle of nowhere when I got Alabama right here, and I'm gonna get more money playing for Alabama. So I think the NIL deal basically held a lot of players rooted to where they grew up. I get my mom to come see me. I'm only 45 minutes in Tuscaloosa. I'm a 6'8" guard. No matter what, I'm going. 6'8" guard. No matter what, I'm going league.
If I play halfway decent, I'm going to the league. So I ain't got to do much.
These millions too. So, like, why do I need to go to Kansas? Why do I need to go to North Carolina? Why do I need to go to Duke? Other than, those are my schools I always wanted to play for. Other than that, let me go to Auburn. Let me go to Alabama.
And that's one thing I was gonna ask you. When it comes to NIL deals, do you feel like it's leveled the playing field for a lot of schools now? So now a lot of schools gonna get opportunity to get a 4 or 5 star that's from their their neck of the woods versus somebody coming out of another state.
Yeah, I feel like it should, and it is definitely. It's going to open up that window. Like I said, hey, I can just go 45 minutes down the road and play, and I can recruit some of these other guys from Alabama that's, 3, 4 stars to surround me, and we can, see what Alabama has. They have a coaching that's been there for 2 years, I think. He's already turned that program around.
He done a good job. Like I said, and I think that, too, a lot of coaches are starting to turn their program around a lot faster because of these deals, as well as the transfer portal. Because like I've been telling a lot of players, and I'll tell a lot of players out there that watch this channel and watch our podcast, that you gotta understand that as a young player coming out of high school, like, these coaches have a pool of players now that are already ready. So I want to recruit you. I want to bring you in, but I can go get this sophomore, this junior that's already played 2 years in this level of basketball, and I don't have to worry about teaching him how to do his schedule. I don't have to worry about him coming to practice, going to class. The rigorous road you have to travel of a college basketball season. I don't have to do that with him. So that's why I said transfer portal is a good thing, but also I think it's going to open the eyes up for a lot of players to understand that you got to come in ready to go right away. Oh yeah,
for sure.
Because if not, you're going to be looked over. So let's talk about some of the coaches changes that we're seeing. So we got so Patrick Union, he's out at Georgetown. So what do you think about his time at Georgetown?
I think his tenure was a little long there. He really wasn't winning. I think he had a losing record there. I might have went to the tournament 1 or 2 times. But he was there for a while. They paid loyalty to him. Basically him coming from Georgetown. Being a product of, the head coach that, was there for
John Thompson
for there for so
R.I.P.
long. So, I mean, he wasn't getting the job done. So it's time to get somebody, especially that's not a blue blood, but it is a college basketball staple school.
Because like I said, Ed Cooley is who's replacing him, who's done a good job at Providence. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with, Georgetown. But just to kind of speak on Patrick Union, I think, like I said, I feel like he did the best he could what he had because, like I said, just who he was as a player there, and of course coming up under John Thompson. But then, like I said, the last few years were pretty rough. I just think he just wasn't able to get the best out of the players he had.
And it's also different because he came from the NBA and he's trying to recruit college players. Like that's hard. Unless you have like a designated straight dog as a recruiter that can bring me 5 stars in. But Georgetown it's not it's not an unknown school. Like
exactly. It's a school that guys want to play at and play for. But like I say, you have to have somebody that is convincing enough, like I say, on your recruiting team that can get these guys to say, hey, it's not that I'm necessarily coming to play for Patrick Union. I'm coming to play for Georgetown. And all the history at that school, all the great players come from that school, all the great things they've done in the past at that school. I want to be a part of that. So the culture, I think, is more they got to push.
But it's also hard, too, because, like, as we've been growing up, the last time Georgetown has really been good was since AI was there.
That's true.
They had that year where they had, I can see his face, but I can't think of his name right now. Otto Porter Jr.
They had
Otto Porter Jr.
That was a good, decent year. They made a tournament that year.
But that's pretty much the last time they was really –
well, I mean, and it's the same thing kind of for Syracuse with Joe, with Boeheim. I mean, he just retired after 47 years. congratulations on a great career.
Yeah.
With Syracuse, but it's kind of similar to him. I mean, one of his best years was probably the Carmelo Anthony year when they won the national championship. And then after that, he kind of just, skated along. Yeah. Still a great coach, but just like I said, just couldn't get the right bunch of guys there to play this. Because I said that 2-3 zone, still to this day, I mean, a lot of people have struggles with it.
Yeah.
And with the right, build, I think he can really – win with it, but then offensively, he just never could get that like you said, that dominant player that everybody knew like he did with Carmelo. So that's why
he had success with Johnny Flynn in that year too. But that was okay.
So about 10, 15 years ago. Exactly. All right, so next coaching change that I saw Rick Pitino.
He back in the Garden. He's back in the Garden. I don't think he's gonna do anything pretty much.
Really? You don't think I think he's gonna be good for St. John.
He's good for New York basketball.
Yeah, so I think St. John's now, a lot of those players come out of New York, now they stay home because of Rick Pitino.
That's going to be one of them things where it's just like, it's just going to go back to basically like, do these players know who Rick Pitino is and what he's done?
True for college basketball.
For college basketball. And what he's done for
are all their opinions going to be based off of his last tenure?
Yeah.
In college basketball with all of this, investigation and all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to be the struggle he's going to face, I think, when it comes to getting guys to come there, at least his first year. Yeah. I think if he can take this first year, do decent with him, then I think the second year, now people will say, okay.
Yeah. Like who is to tell? Okay, so let's use I can't think of, we just had him on the podcast. Oh, Buchanan.
Yeah.
Let's just use Buchanan, like Jordan. Let's use him for an example. He he's upcoming senior. Who's going to tell him, hey, you should go to St. John? Rick Pitino I don't think we have those people now to tell somebody that about old schools or coaches and stuff like that. I mean, they see what they see now and be like, oh, Kansas is still up there. Duke is still up there. North Carolina is still up there. But who's to tell these younger guys and from our generation, hey, go play with Rick Pitino?
That's true. That there is a disconnection from history of programs, history of what coaches have done for players, and then of course the culture around those schools. So I think that I agree with you on that. The new generation is struggling with that. That's why they kind of go to the same places because it's like, okay, at least if I go to this place, I know here recently they've been great in their program, but historically, I should go play for Rick Pitino just because of what he's done, his pedigree. Yeah, exactly. So that, like I said, and hopefully he has somebody on his team that can make that connection with the this new generation. Yeah, because basketball is much different than when he was in a few years ago. So and he signed a 6-year deal, so they believe in him and what he's gonna bring to the program. Exactly. So him being back in the Garden, that's gonna have the Garden rocking anyway. So. Yeah. All right, man, so let's talk about, I know you mentioned earlier about the Blue Bloods, man. So this is the first time in a long time, and it's the first time I've ever remembered or ever seen the Blue Bloods not be in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, or the Final Four, or the Finals. So what do you think is going on? What has happened to the Blue Bloods of college basketball?
Yeah, I think we got two of them got coaches changes in the last 2 years.
Yep.
Granted, one of them just went to the Final. Well, two of them was in the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
Tom Izzo, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Michigan, you never know what's going to happen with Michigan.
Yeah, not Dwight, but Howard. Juwan Howard. I think Juwan Howard is a great coach, but just like we just said about everybody's trying to figure out a way to how to manage what's going on with these NIL deals and in this transfer portal. Yeah. It's because a lot of coaches, I think, believe that they want to bring up kids in their program, but your time is short. Yeah. So you don't have a lot of time. Yeah. So you got to go for the older guys. Because that's why I'm like, this year I'm hearing a lot more 25, 26-year-old guys still playing college basketball, which is weird for me. Like, by that time, guys will be graduated, on in their career. But, COVID gave a lot of people 5-6 more years of basketball. So I just think that coaches are really struggling with how to manage all that.
And it's not just managing, it's also trying to get the right fit.
Yeah,
you grabbing somebody that's was a 5-star. Maybe he didn't have success at his old school, but trying to make sure he still fits your system and that you can get what you can get out of him. Maybe there's a reason why that 5-star wasn't playing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Auburn just lost
or
a
playing
5-star and a 4-star to the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And I think he's 2 years in. So as you as a coach, you're looking at this player, his resume, like why didn't he get playing time, or why he wasn't playing. But I have this freshman coming in that averaged 20, 30 points, 5-star as well.
Yeah.
Which one am I take?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I think that's what's the struggle with all the blue bloods of college basketball, especially this year. Because like I said, if you notice, not one of those teams, like I said, had that main guy and everybody else was built, brought in around him, and then everybody else kind of followed his leadership. Like I said, I'm a Dookie, and we had a lot of talent, but we just didn't have that one guy. Like Roach tried to be the senior leader, but he's the point guard. We're used to having that one, incredible scorer, athlete, and Derek
Flip. He was okay.
Yeah, and Derek Whitehead was supposed to be that, but he just was injury bug, killed him all year long, and then he declared for the draft too. So, and I think he'll do good in the NBA as long as he can stay healthy, and that's the biggest thing for a lot of players. As long as you stay healthy, I think because of how wide open the game is, I think he'll do fine. But that he was supposed to be that one guy for us that we pretty much follow his lead because of how great he was offensively coming out of college. He's a big guard, like I think 6'6", 6'7", somewhere around there. So big guard. Can shoot the ball, pass the ball, but he just can never get past the injury bug. So
I think nowadays it's not coaching anymore; it's more recruiting.
Yeah. You got to have a 5 recruiting team.
Yeah,
and you got to have, and like you say, the guys got to have. If they don't have a relationship with you via social media, they got to have your presence has to be so strong that they, like I said, they just want to play for you. That's why Nick Saban is so he's so good with his recruiting because guys want to play for him. And that's why I think you got to have, especially in college basketball. But a lot of coaching changes, I think, has affected it, like you said.
Yeah.
All right, man, so let's transition to the NFL because we know what's going on right now with Lamar Jackson. And I want to make this statement first before you because I know you have been, high on Lamar Jackson. And I have to say, I agree with what he's doing, 1,000%. Because, if you look at the landscape of quarterbacks in the NFL that's got these massive deals, he's just as good or better than some of the guys that got massive deals, like Kyler Murray. I know a lot of people like to say, Lamar hasn't done nothing. I've been one of those being critical of him for not doing nothing. But then you look at Kyler Murray, he's done more than Kyler Murray. So I don't feel like now looking at it, I don't feel like he's out of bounds for what he's after. I just think he's going to struggle to get it. From a team.
My biggest thing is why does he have to struggle?
Yeah.
He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He already got an MVP.
Yeah.
He's been to the playoffs every year except for maybe one.
He's got a winning record.
Yeah, he's been injured. And like I think somebody said this year, his injury didn't come from him running. It was him in the pocket.
Yeah.
It was the offensive line that wasn't protecting their quarterback and he got hurt.
And a lot of people gave him a lot of flack for not playing in that playoff game. But my thing is, I agree with him not playing because why would I go out there and injure myself further for people to even have more of a reason not to pay me what I'm worth?
It was going to be the
RG3. And, because RG3 was the main one coming out and say, because you remember when he was at Washington, he had I think it was a LCL or MCL, something like that. And he went out there and put a brace on and tried to play through it and try to be, all about team, and then ruptured his whole knee and then never played the same. Never got the big contract. Never got that much respect anymore either from the NFL teams he playing on. And then he's played with Lamar. So, and Lamar not having an agent, I think that also plays a part into why a lot of teams not really trying to hear him out is because he don't have representation.
What more representation do you need to go to somebody straight from the source?
I agree. I think if I'm a NFL team, I want to talk directly to the player.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to somebody that's the middleman that can be telling me something that's not 100% the truth.
Yeah. If I was a organization like somebody like the Colts, I can understand a little bit what they're talking about because Jim Irsay said he don't give guarantee contracts.
Yeah,
which makes sense because look what Andrew Luck did to him.
Yeah. Retiring just out of nowhere. Yeah.
But somebody like the Falcons is like, oh, he's injured and blah blah blah. But you can't tell me who his number one wide receiver has been all the years he's been there.
Yeah.
but yet he's taking them to the playoffs.
The best
over 1,000 yards rushing, numerous of times, over 3,000 yards passing, numerous of times with no true number one wide receiver.
His best receiver he's had is Bateman, and Bateman's a speedster, but like you say, he's not had an all pro, wide receiver. I mean, his tight end is great, but his tight end's been hurt, but we all know you can't win a Super Bowl with just a tight end. You gotta have some guys outside of your tight end. Like, of course you got Kelsey over in Kansas City. He's great, but they also have other guys around him too. Yeah. And then you got to have a decent run game, and then of course you got to have an amazing quarterback.
Yeah, and the running back hasn't been healthy in 2 years. So.
That's what I'm saying. So I just think what Lamar is going through is worth the battle. But like I say, I see the NFL teams not trying to really get involved with it. That's why they put him on a non-exclusive tag, because they like, hey, exactly, like, oh yeah, definitely, it's definitely going on.
Yeah,
they're basically saying go out there and sell yourself to other teams and see what you get. Because even if he does get an offer, they get to try to match the offer.
Yeah,
which we all know they're not going to even try to match it. So, kind of staying on topic with this. So, what do you think the impact of him doing what he's doing and future negotiations when it comes to guaranteed contracts with players? How you think that's going to impact future deals?
I think it's going to impact it a lot.
Yeah,
but it's also, I would say Deshaun Watson really messed up the whole thing. The
NFL, I think a lot of NFL owners, when they saw that go across the board, that he got that guarantee, they was throwing up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, now everybody's going to want that.
But it's also like it's hard too, because if you pay your quarterback $50 million, how are you going to restructure your team around him to win a Super Bowl?
That's true.
Look at Pittsburgh. They got a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
They put all their money into the defense and a little into the offensive line.
Yeah.
And you can do that while he's still young and on this rookie contract. But if you have somebody like Lamar Jackson coming to Pittsburgh, he's taking up $50 million.
Yeah, or more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So now you got to restructure other things and stuff like that just to pay your quarterback.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady was an example of, hey, I take less to win.
Yeah.
25 mil.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah, because I saw a stat where over his career he made $300 million just over his career. Mm-hmm. But if you look at what he's done resume-wise, he should have made way more money than that. Mm-hmm. But I think, with a lot of these younger players, they're like, hey, man, especially now what Lamar's doing, a lot of other players are going to see that and see how it's kind of like player versus the owner. Mm-hmm. And the guy's going to really want to go after their money more than they care about winning championships, because at the end of the day, it's a violent sport, dangerous sport, and the lifespan of players is not very long, especially the way he plays.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling no quarterback or player not to go get their money or nothing like that, but also it's just like, it's kind of like a sacrifice. Do you want to win or you want to get paid?
Exactly.
Why not win and then restructure, come back to the table like, all right, I got y'all 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
It's my turn now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with that, because, you have to be able to make room for these other players to come. And if your contract has got them, wrapped tight to the point where they can't really go out and get nobody else, you don't want that either. Mm-hmm. So, but I just think, in my opinion, with Lamar, he just looking at the landscape of everybody else that's getting paid, that's pretty much doing the same thing he's doing. Mm-hmm. So why do they get it but I don't? Mm-hmm. And I completely can understand that. So that's why I think it's a tough road he's going down, but it's a necessary road, because this is going to show other players like, hey man, go out there and fight for what you believe that your value is. Mm-hmm. But I also think that the NFL owners are so against it because they don't want it to turn into a players' league like the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
The NFL owners want to keep control. Yeah. And by giving into this and Deshaun Watson type deals, it starts to give control to the players. And I think NFL owners just don't want that. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. All right, man. So final thing we got for today. I don't know if you've been paying attention to social media. My boy Cam Newton, he's coming back. See that, John?
He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
Whoa.
He's not coming back.
Wait a minute. We ain't got much time, but we're going to get into this real quick. So you don't think Cam Newton can play NFL no more?
Oh, he can play, but he's not coming back.
Wow, so hold on. That's kind of a oxymoron right there. So he can play, but he's not coming back.
It's not an oxymoron. There's a lot of players out there that still have the talent to go out there and play, but do a team want them? That's the thing.
I mean,
you're getting a 30. I'm 32.
He's probably
33, 34. No, he's probably 34, 35.
Yeah.
You know, he still got it, but why would you get a 34, 35-year-old veteran quarterback to sit on your bench?
Mm-hmm.
And then, or you can get a 23-year-old quarterback that can.
So you don't think there's no team he can go play on and start
in the league right now?
Yeah.
It depends on what happens with these moves. You know, where does Aaron Rodgers go?
Yeah.
They got Jordan Love on the
because I know he can go play in Washington.
Yeah.
They ain't got a quarterback.
They don't, but he's not.
But I'm just saying
they had the opportunity to go get him when he
can go play in Houston.
With New England.
He can go play in Houston.
Houston going to get a quarterback. They get him.
Yeah, so I get you on that point of that, you know, I think once the draft comes and goes and you see where all the rookie quarterbacks and all the movement there, then we can really revisit this conversation. But I truly believe that
if you're Washington and your choice is to get Cam Newton
mm-hmm.
and you're on the verge of they was up in the playoff hunt,
okay,
you're going to get Cam Newton.
If nothing else is out there,
I'm sitting at pick 16.
You're not going to get a quarterback at 16.
Oh, I'm not getting a quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, Lamar Jackson, come holler at me. That's what I'm doing. If I'm
Nah,
that's what I'm doing.
Nah, Lamar ain't going to no Washington, man.
Not?
He ain't going to no Washington.
That's all they need. They
ain't going
a nice offense.
No, I agree. I agree. The team needs him, and he would be great on that team because they got a decent defense, and their offense is pretty good too.
Because all Baltimore technically is supposed to get or have is 2 first-round picks. I'm giving that up for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, of course.
But
of course.
If a team like
the
Colts doesn't really need him because they finna get a quarterback.
But they finna bring in, like I said, they're gonna bring in a young guy, but a young guy needs somebody to help him along the way. Like we were just talking about off camera. Anthony Richardson. He's gonna be a great quarterback eventually. His upside is there, but he needs somebody to learn behind. To learn how to read the defenses correctly. And I'm not saying like Cam Newton is some, you know,
Cam can't read defense.
Man, listen, man. All I'm telling you,
I'm an Auburn to the T,
man. All I'm telling you is that Cam Newton can play in today's league a lot of teams.
He can.
That's all I'm saying.
But will he? No.
Well, maybe they'll blackball him then, I guess.
I mean, that's not blackballing. He had a chance.
Did he really have a chance at the end with Carolina? Because I mean,
with Carolina, with New England, he had the chance.
Okay, all right, man.
That's why I took by a rookie.
That's an Auburn guy, man. How you gonna talk about an Auburn guy like that?
I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. If I'm a GM, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
Like I say, I know he can play, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, man, like I say, I think, you know, from what I'm seeing, you know, him on Instagram, I was shocked to see that he's making a comeback or trying to make a comeback because I thought he had left football alone. But I think if he really pushes forward, I think somebody will give him a shot. Somebody will.
Nah.
Okay. So okay. Nah. All right, man. We'll have to wait and see. It's a lot of time to come before the season starts. You got of course the draft coming up. So we'll wait and see once those moves, and like I said, we'll revisit this because I believe you'll be wrong on this one.
Dang, I could be wrong.
So
you're probably not gonna touch the field.
Okay. But as always, man, we want to thank y'all. That's gonna wrap this episode up. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all comment down below. Let us know what you thought of today's topics, and now, of course, in our next episodes coming up, we'll be sure to implement it into the next episode. And also, before you leave, make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow us on all of our social medias, which will be listed in our details of our channel and, of course, of our Facebook page as well. And, man, other than that, man, until the next episode, y'all have a good day. Peace.